Friends, today I want to talk to you about some instruction that James chapter 4 gives us, really to believers dealing with temptation. And so I want to just take out three key words here found in verses 7 and 8 that will help you and strengthen you during the time of temptation. Verse 7 says, "Submit yourselves therefore to God, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Draw nigh to God, and he'll draw nigh unto you." So we've got you and I doing really three things. Number one, submitting to God. How do you submit to God? Well, friends, I believe one way is to submit to the truth of God's Word. Submit to the truth of God's Word. It supersedes how we feel and what we're going through. His Word never changes. It is truth on your best day, and it is truth on your worst day. Oftentimes when I'm dealing with temptation or feeling just lethargic and just having a rough day, I'll read the first chapter of Ephesians, primarily chapter 1, verses 1 through 8, because it ministers to me. It reminds me of the power of God. And so we must submit to the power of God's Word. Number two, resist. You may say, well, that's the hard part. Not really. The power to resist comes from your willingness to submit. Whenever you submit to God, you'll have the power, you'll find the power to resist the enemy. And I love what we see here. It says, and he will flee from you. That word flee there means he will run with great terror. Can you imagine? When you and I submit and resist, the enemy runs with great terror. And the third thing is, we are to draw nigh to God. And it says when we do that, he draws nigh to us. So I see something very clearly here. I see the enemy fleeing, and I see God drawing close. Friends, when you're in a time of temptation, you're struggling, you're really going through something, understand that God says, where sin abounds, grace does much more abound. God has the strength and the power to carry you through what you're walking through. You don't have to walk in defeat. Read God's Word. Specifically, I would encourage you to read Ephesians chapter 1, verses 1 through 8, until you know it, until you believe it deep inside your spirit. And declare every day, I am the righteousness of God. On your worst day, declare, I am the righteousness of God. And you'll watch the enemy flee. And as you draw close to God, he will draw close to you. Because God is a good God. You be blessed, and we'll see you next week.